Okay, you guys, I hope you are all well and are getting used to working remotely, although it feels a little bit strange. So I've made you another video so I can take you through the resources that I've made. I think it's better than just sending them. So I'm going to do a little bit of recap of where you should be with your second year work and then what's coming up next. So in terms of your project, we've actually started your A2 work, you guys know that. So in week 1, we've done your mind map and your timeline. And then what I've done is I've thought really hard about something that you could do from home, something that isn't going to be too laborious, isn't going to take up too much of your time and is a bit more fun. So the next couple of projects we will do are practical projects. So it gives you a chance to explore your techniques, come up with different ideas and have some fun. So you get to be a bit more playful and get to do more practical work before you're actually deciding what you want to focus on. Okay, so what I've done is I've made an example Google Doc for you guys because I was seeing sort of lots of different types of entries. Some people do a lot, some people don't know how to present it. So I've made one that I've shared with you guys. So I've put my name on it there, A2 Photography, Research Element AO1, but it's a guide. So this is the bit that you follow to make sure you've got the work. So that's my example mind map, but you guys would put a screenshot of your What is Photography mind map in there. Make sure, because they're getting kind of small, aren't they, that you share it with me. So you use my email address on the Miro website and then you put the link underneath. That means when I mark it, I can click through and I can see the full thing and you don't have to worry about it being too small. On your mind map, you were going to identify 10 photographers. Make sure you put pictures of their work in there so I can see what it's like. But also, make sure that it covers a range of different types of things. For example, I don't want to just see loads of portraits. I don't want to just see loads of buildings. I want to see that you're thinking of different ideas at this time. So you've got your mind map, you've got your photographers on there, and then you should also have completed your timeline. So it's fine if you've done it in your book and you photographed it, or if you've done it in PowerPoint, whatever, but just make sure that it's got that 2 tiers there. So you've got like the historical and contextual information and the technological. Make sure that the information relates though, so it's had an impact on photography or it's done something that's affected photography in some way. I don't want anything random, so there's just a little bit of a reminder of what to include there. Then we actually get on to your quarantine project, which is what I'm going to set you now for this next 3 weeks. So in your little mini project, you're looking at things that you can like explore within quarantine. So I'm not expecting you to go out anywhere. I'm not expecting you to be able to like scout models or anything. You'll have to think really carefully about what's around you, what's in your house, what you have access to, but also have fun with it and play around with it, because anyone who's a photographer is pretty much living in the exact same constraints that you are, but they'll still be making results as well. So it splits into 3 weeks. So in your first week, I want you to do some research, or you could start your experimentation. In the second week, I want you to be doing some experimentation because obviously it's practical, we're getting some results. And then in the last week, we're going to do like a little bit of evaluation. So there's 2 short projects, this project and another project coming up. So all practical work. So in terms of where I've said research here, I want you to make a Pinterest board. So this link here is the link to mine and you can use that as a starting point. But you basically just need to call it Quarantine Project, and I want you to pin lots of ideas of things that you could do at home. So obviously I've done this in advance of you. Really good terms to put in are things like photography hacks DIY, best iPhone photography tips, and then you can start to save results based on that as well. So let's say, for example, iPhone photography tips. Here we go. Give you like lots of ideas here, but some of these you would obviously like not just look at that, but you'd click through. And when it loads up, you'd scroll down and you'd like find some information based on that. So as this looks up, so there's obviously like quite a lot of example things on here that you could do. You could look at using like portrait mode, things like that. Use burst mode to time the perfect shot. So here's something good that you could do. If you're on your phone, you could screenshot your phone. Or if you use something like a snipping tool, mine's a bit different because I'm on a Mac, and you could say like, that's a really cool idea, I'm going to keep that. So you can take ideas out of those articles. or you could like pin these to your board as well. So for example here, I've just screenshot something, haven't I? So if I want to, I can create a pin and I can drag and drop because I'm on the computer, or I could upload from my device. So you could do that from your phone if you're working on your phone. And then, is it the last screenshot I took? Yeah, I would be able to do open, and then I can make that a pin that I would save, and that's going on like my quarantine project board. Yeah, so it's already there, and then I can save that. So I can add things from within articles if that's helpful, or you could just pin the actual articles. But basically what I'm after is I want you to have a board full of lots of different ideas. So I'll take you through some of mine now. I've got a lot of boards, so let me just find it for you. So quarantine project. So within this, you can either choose to work on your camera if you've got one, but it's not meant to penalise anybody. So if you haven't got one, that's also totally fine. So lots of different results here. DIY things that you could make, things that you can put over the top of your camera lenses there, like this, that's really good. Also, like lots of different ideas of how you could set things up, different ideas of things that you could use to create like a softbox effect, or where you could actually like tape things to the ceiling so you get like a different kind of perspective. Nice ideas like this one here where you use like an old CD and a light to create like a rainbow effect. Also, you could look at like positioning of your phones. There's that article there, there's one of the clicks that I'd made. So what you need to do is have lots and lots of ideas here. So the idea is that they're quite fun, quite playful. This little video here is like changing your camera torch to make it like a UV light. So there's lots of things that you can click through. Obviously as well, some of them are guides, so clicking into this one here, in Indoor Natural Light Photography, is a really good article. So you can click through and you can get lots of tips from that as well. So obviously it's going to take a while to load up, isn't it? So it tells you lots of different things about like positioning, thinking about framing and things like that, like low light. But there's lots of like beautiful effects that you could get, and you could read a bit more about that. Also on the blog, oh, it's already there. Dan and Susanna have done some research about this before as well. So if you scroll down to the bottom, past all the cats, there's here this post about using natural light to take photographs. So obviously that's going to be the main source of light you'll have to work with at home, and they've added some really good videos there that you could watch as well. So that's super helpful. So making a big Pinterest board, lots of ideas, and then basically like I've got here is you would screenshot that. So you could press like Control and minus to make it smaller or what have you, but you take a screenshot of it so you've got it, and then you'd put it into your example report that you've made, but also put the link underneath so I can see the first thing. So that's my Pinterest link there that I would take from the top of the page there to copy it, and then I would put that in there. So then I want you guys to do a bit of a mind map. So we love a mind map, but it's the easiest way that you can put information down. So now that you've got your Pinterest results, you're basically going to show your thinking and thinking about what you're doing, what you might need through a mind map. So it's going to have quarantine project in the centre, and then it depends what you're using. So if you're using your phone, you would brainstorm ideas about what you're doing on your phone. Or if you're using a camera, what you're going to actually do to change on the camera. So this is where you refer and you're working between the two documents. So I'm back in my mind map here, I've made an example one. Maybe I'm thinking about phone or camera. So before, say for example there, the screenshot I just took, I could use burst mode. And then here, I could do like capture action, maybe jumping. Or you could get like a series of movement photos. Oh, I just added a crazy box there. Let's get rid of that. So movement sequence. So there's a couple of ideas that I could get from that. DIY is anything obviously that you could make. So when that comes up like a hashtag, or if it comes up like one of your search terms, you could make yourself a softbox. It's obviously going to be really slow in loading up, but that's a video that tells you how to make that. It's just made out of a lamp. This somebody uses like a similar idea with like a torch and a McDonald's box. You can make like a reflector just with some foil, and that helps bounce light back onto people's faces and helps you get better lit portraits. But if it's in like camera, say something like this one, you could say that you put in a plastic bag around the lens. So also you're thinking about those things there. So on the camera, what else you could add, what you would change. If it's on your phone, what you would add, what you'd change. I've put different branches here so you can see the idea that it would look full because there'd be multiple ideas coming off. DIY, anything that you could make at home. Ideas could be ideas like what comes up that you're really inspired by, like some of the 6 that you might do. So this one here where you use a colander to block the light, or these cool ones where you use an object in the foreground. So sometimes people use like graters or spirals or things like that. Maybe shooting on like your window ledge, shooting with fabric over the lens, creating like different light effects. So you want to list some of those there. So you've got whether you're using your phone, you're just brainstorming about your phone. If you're lucky and you've got a camera, you can brainstorm about your camera, what you can do there. DIY ideas. So locations is where you're going to have to be kind of clever, because you're going to be thinking about what it is that you actually have access to at home. So like where in your house is good, what in your living room, what kind of cool areas. Maybe you have by the living room window a really nice light. Maybe you've got like a really interesting area of like roses in the garden, and that would make a really nice backdrop. Maybe you've got something really cool where the light hits, I don't know, the surface is a certain way in your kitchen and it's really nice in there. So you're thinking about things you have access to. Maybe something that's in your garden, maybe something that's very close to your house, because obviously we can't really go like out and about and into Manchester or anything like that because we're on lockdown. Models, literally what it says on the tin. So who's in your house that you could actually photograph. Kids are really good, so if you've got any younger brothers or sisters, I'm talking like quite young, they can be really good because they don't really tend to get embarrassed in front of a camera. Also your parents, remember these kind of shots, you don't have to have them like posing, you could photograph them while they're doing something, their usual kind of work. And objects or props is anything that you might use. So again, we're going like back and forwards here. So here's a prop where someone's like used a slinky. On this one, they've used like a muslin type fabric over the lens. Here they're using like sellotape and pens. Here they've used like foil to make a backdrop, net curtains. So you're just listing lots of things that you think that you could get hold of. So pretty simple. Share that one with me as well. Put the link on, but then make it really specific. What 6 ideas are you going to try? Because I want to see 6 sort of different things that you've had a go at. And then what you'll need as well. So what you're going to have to go and get from around your house. Who will it be of? So you're making it really clear to the examiner there for your AO1 what you're taking from your research, what you're doing. And then what I want you to do is just put screenshots in. So I realise a lot of you guys will be using a phone. So here's a screenshot of my camera roll. So it's just got like pretty random photos in there because obviously I'm not doing this project right at this minute. So you would be able to crop those down and then you could just paste different versions of the different ideas that you've had. What I want for each idea, so I want you to do 6 different ideas, but we're focusing on quality, not quantity. So they don't have to be like tons and tons in the contact sheet here, is your 2 best images from each idea. So I can't do that because I haven't really shot them or anything like that, but you'd put 2 unedited versions and the 2 edited versions. So in that you can just do something really simple. So it could just be something like brightness and contrast on your phone, levels if you can adjust them, colour, cropping, that kind of thing. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll pause there so I can upload this and then I'll do a part 2.